This is Pillow Talk. With Marion Amanambu. But you can call me Fabuloso. Fabulosity. True stories, great advice, interesting, educative, enlightening. Let's talk on Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk. I'm just chilling. Why not hang with me? You would ask for more. No, darling, no. Sweet like honey, truth is bitter. It's Pillow Talk. Call me Fab.
Hello, this is Pillow Talk with Marion Amanambu, aka Fab of Nigerian Celebrity Network. Today's episode of Pillow Talk is brought to you all the way from Aruba in the Caribbean. There's still the beach going on, nice view from my hotel room, and I've had time to rejuvenate and revitalize, and I'm good to go. Now, today's Pillow Talk, I will talk about an interesting topic that someone requested that I talk about. Someone asked me, should a woman make the first move? And that's what I'm going to be addressing today. Now, the question, should a woman make the first move? I would say, sure, why not? This is the 21st century and women make the move all the time. Some women pay for the wedding sometimes. Some women, contribute to the wedding, have a huge part of the wedding expense and all that. So things have definitely changed. Things have evolved. People are no longer all that traditional in their outlook. So you could get away with a woman making the first move. I would say, sure, why not? If you meet someone you like and you find out they're not warming up enough, they're not doing what they're supposed to do as a man, maybe you're waiting for them to come around and be able to ask you out, and the person hasn't done that yet, and you have a connection with this person, and somehow deep down you feel that this person might like you, but some men might have difficulty approaching a woman or asking a woman out, and they might need a little help or a little nudging to push them in the right direction. I usually go with the three: where, when, and how. It depends on where, when, and how. If you're at a nightclub, you can definitely make the first move as a woman. If you're at a pub or a bar, you can definitely make the first move. If you're at a wedding, you can make the first move. If you are in church, I would put a break on that. So it depends really on where you are, what the the environment that you are would determine if you should go ahead and make that move. In church, that's not to say some women don't make the first move, but you want to be subtle about it. You don't want it to be out there. You don't want it to be very obvious that you're trying to put the move on this guy. You want to just take it easy. You might walk up to this person and introduce yourself and start talking about religion and start talking about the Bible and talking about what you just listened to in church. That way you can get the conversation going, and you can go a step further by making him feel like you're really interested in things that has to do with church or activities at church, and then you can go in and ask him for his phone number and start. So it depends on where. That environment would definitely require you to be smart and cautious. You don't want to go directly to a man in church and ask him, what's your name, and start talking to this guy and asking him out in church. Some might receive it well, some might not, because some people go to church to worship, and then other people go to church to look for a partner. So it depends on what the person is looking for. If this person is in church to pray to God and you're there trying to get their number, then it might get a little awkward because then you're in the same church as this person and you get to see this person next week and you get to see them again and again. So you don't want to rush in. You just want to take it easy. I've had a man ask me, why didn't you propose to me? I've had a man ask me, why didn't you propose to me? This is someone I dated, a while ago. And we got talking again after we had dated. And, we just got, going through the whole relationship, our relationship and what happened. And the question he asked me was like, why didn't you ask me to marry you? Why didn't you propose to me? And that shocked me because I wasn't expecting it. I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. I believe in men asking women out. I believe in a man proposing to a woman. But we all know that things have changed. It's not what it used to be in the days of our fathers and mothers. The olden days, things have changed. Now, men even like when a woman come up to them. Some men feel, it's kind of empowering or nice that, you know what, I'm chilling and this girl walking up to me and asking me out. So it depends on the man. It really does. And then the woman too has to be very subtle. Like I wouldn't want to go all the way out, even if it doesn't even matter the environment for me. I want to be subtle because, like I said, I'm a traditionalist, and I'm so old-fashioned that I believe, a man should do this and a woman should do that. Even though we all know that is not always the case, but I still want a man to walk up to me and ask me out. I want a man to propose to me. I don't want to be the one asking the man, will you marry me? How awkward will that be? Would I need to get down on my knee and propose and put a ring on your finger? Or just ask you, will you marry me? That's awkward to me if you ask me. I prefer you asking me to marry you. I prefer you asking me out. But if I do go to an event or something and I see someone that, catches my attention and I like the person, I can go in gently and request for their phone number and start talking to them. Feel them out and see if this person is interested, because you're meeting this person and you really don't know them. You don't know if they're single. So you want to, go subtle and ask them, are you single? Are you dating? Stuff like that. This then leads to the question of when. When do you ask a man out? Or when do you ask a man to marry you? When would vary depending on the situation. And that's why the when and the where and the how are all tied together. If you're dating this person for a while and you're comfortable with this person, and it's been going on for a few months, you could ask them to marry you. Now, with the dating portion of this, if it's somebody you know in church, you just met, it might not be a good idea to ask them right away. You might want to wait and meet them up in church a few more times and get the conversation started and, give it some time to settle before you ask. You don't want to scare them away. So the when, would really vary. There's no hard set rule about when to do that. Like if you're meeting someone at a nightclub or a bar or at an event, you can go right away. You can ask them right there. You can be subtle about it and get your message across, get their phone number and start something. So the when in that regard could be instant. But at the same time, you want to consider, like where you are. If you're in a church, you might want to pause a little bit and get to know that person. If it's a family friend, you might want to wait a little bit. You might not want to like go all the way out and put yourself out there, because some women will get disappointed. This leads to the third question of how. So somehow you see that the when, where, and how are all tied together. How? I've never proposed to a man before, so I don't know how to do that. But I'm just using my experience and my exposure to say that the how, like I said, will be in a very subtle way. I don't think it would make any sense for any woman to go on her knees and say, "Will you marry me?" That's for the man to do. So that would definitely be out of the way. You don't want to do that. You can do, like you can go in a subtle way. Maybe take him out for dinner and ask him, start talking about marriage and see if, then of course you would have dated this person for a while that you're comfortable enough to do this. You don't want to start dating someone today and you're asking them, "Will you marry me?" Of course, you're going to scare them away. That person will run away. So you don't want to do that. The setting has to be good, and you don't have to go on your knees. You can do something elaborate if you want to involve your friends and your family. If it's been a relationship, if it's a relationship that's been going on for a long time, so you might want to involve your friends, get a little help, and completely and totally embarrass him so that he can't say no. Just plan it and go for it. But then again, you might be shocked that you involve your friends and your family and then you get a huge resounding no, and that will be very embarrassing. So I would propose you discuss it prior. Like, when I say discuss it, you want to talk about marriage, hammer on that issue a little bit and see how he feels about it before you go ahead and ask him. If you've dated this person for a little bit, a little period, you would definitely know by then what he likes, what he doesn't like, what makes him tick, what pisses him off. So that way you're treading carefully and you're not overstepping, or stepping on anyone's toes. You don't want the man to feel less than the man. Men like to feel in control. Men like to feel in charge. You don't want the man to feel less of a man. Now there are some men that would not mind a woman taking the leadership role in their relationship. Some men, they don't mind. If you ask them out, it's fine. If you pay for the bill when you go for a dinner, that's fine. If you're tipping the waiter, that's fine with them. You're buying them gifts, that's fine. There's some men like that. They take a back seat and they're okay with it, absolutely okay with it. Okay? So if you're dating that kind of man, you can take the leadership role in your relationship. But you need to figure out what kind of man you're dealing with. If you're dealing with an African man, a traditional African man that believe in traditional roles and responsibility, that a man is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to do that, you don't want to go that route. You want to nudge him and be smart in nudging him, because at the same time you don't want to turn him off or piss him off. No, I don't think it's a big deal for a woman to propose to a man, or for a woman to make the first move. No problem with that at all. You can follow me on Twitter, Marion Aman, or you can, subscribe to my feed on Facebook or like my page, Marion Amanambu. Thank you very much for being loyal and for all your support. I do appreciate it. I'll talk to you again soon. Ciao.
This is Pillow Talk. It's Pillow Talk.
This is Pillow Talk
with Marion Amanambu. But you can call me Fabuloso. Fabulosity. True stories, great advice, interesting, education.